The desk at the beginning of this presentation represents loneliness and isolation if that's how you feel life should be. What I mean by this is, for people who want to truly make friends at work, it's sad to have that rejection. Now, before I get into what I have to say, let me say that this video is for people who work a regular 9 to 5, whether you telework or commute to work, because you don't want to start businesses. And I think that's admirable, and I think that's okay. Some people aren't meant to start businesses. I currently work a 9 to 5. I think it's an honorable way to work. There's nothing wrong with it. See, the difference between me and the people I made this video for is that I can go sit alongside you, work with you, and care to never be friends with you. But without a doubt, lots of you who are listening to this probably want to fit within the 9 to 5 workplace, and you want to know and fit in and know why people don't like you. I personally am happy to not have that feeling, but again, I made this video for you all. And as you see, the title of it is "It Doesn't Pertain to Me" syndrome. Every job I've gone to, I've found one or more of these. And as the years go by, as people publish these books about being effective teams at work, I see that this effective team crap is ineffective. People are more cliquish than they've ever been. And I've been out in the workforce for many years now. Got out of the military in 2007. People are more cliquish than they've ever been. They've been more prone to show their favoritism and nepotism than they've ever been. They've been more catty than they've ever been. Oh, I don't like you, so I'm going to exclude you from meetings on purpose to make you look bad. Oh, I don't like you, so I'm going to pile more work on you. But because it is your job, you're not going to have any form of retaliation. I don't like you, so we're going to have after work activities and not tell you. Which the latter I'm proud of, because quite frankly, I just want no part of it. I think it's suffocating, but that's just me. For those of you who want to fit in, the harsh reality is that those cliques are so strong, you're going to either have to do low down dirty things to belong and fit in, or just accept that they're never going to accept you. Now, I'm an advocate of you need to sit back and give it a little while. Some jobs I didn't have that much patience for that and didn't care. But just sit back, observe, and watch for a while and see what happens. Now, if you're still here and you're still listening, there are two types of people that you will work with, or they're going to be in two camps. The ones who genuinely do not care. Understand that I didn't create a third camp because there's lots of nuance. There are plenty of people you'll work with that won't fit either of these. But you have to be able to accept this to have a greater acceptance of why things are happening to you. Okay, so I'll get right to the two. The two people at work that will see things happen to you and most often won't step in and have sympathy for you in their "it doesn't pertain to me" syndrome are the actives and the passives. The actives are all into the clique. They're gung-ho for the job. They believe in the company's philosophies. They believe you should come and be nice to everybody, despite how those people treat you. And for the most part, being cordial is okay, and being nice is okay, but pretending to be their friend, that's fake. Here's the thing about the person who actively plays the game, or the actives. They're not going to give a crap about your well-being, and here's why. Their attitude is going to be, you didn't play the game enough. You didn't smile at them enough. You didn't act friendly enough. You didn't participate enough. Or if you did all these things, you still didn't do enough of any of them to prove and show yourself. This is someone who gets on their self-righteous high horse because they've been liked for so long. It's easy to detach from what's happening to you. This is a fact. You don't have to believe me on it. We've all worked for these. They can know you're being harassed and bullied, and they'll turn it into something else. Not because they're uncomfortable with the bullier, I would say, or the person bullying, but they're uncomfortable with you for not stepping up enough to not put yourself in that position in the first place. That sounds heartless, but it's true. When I was investigated on a job some time ago, people cared more about the fact that when I read the paperwork that I didn't kiss their behind rather than the job itself. And for me, it's like, wow. It wasn't something that I cried about when I read it. I'm like, these people, I could be the biggest piece of crap at my job, but because I don't kiss people's behind and I'm not social, you think it's okay to ruin me? They really do. And you have to look out for that. The passives, in my opinion, the second and then our final one, are the worst. But you have to expect, because that's why I call them passive. These are the people that at best go with the flow and go with the motions. They won't stand up for themselves, so they're not going to stand up for you. A passive wishes that they weren't active. Some of them, not all. They're the passives that are buying themselves time until they can retire. And unfortunately, that could easily become me, minus the fact that if I see something, I'm going to say something. Then there are the passives that so want to be one of the actives and want to get along, that they'll play dumb about your plight while still being nice to you when no one's around. You can't trust a passive at all. They know that what's happening to you is not exactly your fault, but their way of dealing with it is going to their desk and changing the subject and just talking about work and pretending to talk about their weekend. Would you like to get coffee? How was your weekend? What did you do? They can see your devastation and distress and will sit there and act as if it's not happening because it's too uncomfortable for them, because it's happened to them and they never dealt with it. Oh, I know this happened to her, but it just doesn't pertain to me right now. And if I jump in the melee, they're just gonna get at me again. A passive is comfortable with low-key walking on eggshells. So if they can't stand up for themselves, don't expect that person to help you. Here's what you can do when you're in that situation. The first thing you should do with any company that you work for, because this has to be transparent on their corporate page, main page, whatever. Know that company's mission and core values. And the reason that that's important to know is that most people so bad want a job that they don't study their company's mission values and core values to know how to combat them in case something ever happens. That's the first thing you have to do. Even if this has never happened to you, when you get to a company on occasion in your downtime, you need to go and study that company's core values. Okay. Number 2, study the company's incentives. I'm not talking about medical, dental, and vision here, okay? Though those things are very helpful. What educational or experiences are they willing to help pay for? What conferences are they willing to pay you to go to? Find a way to expand your horizons greater within the organization and outside of your direct office. Okay? The reason being is that it gives you the benefit of getting out of the office for a while, or while you're there, getting additional training and experience that will help you eventually move up and move on and get out of those cliquish groups. You'll be amazed at the enrichment you get out of certain free things that are given to you that may help propel your future. Last but not least, and this is the one you do as soon as you notice things get out of hand. If something is consistent with you, you need to keep a notebook with you that's kept under lock and key and document as much as possible. Because once you go up against certain people, it's going to be your word against theirs. And as introverted as you may be, or as extroverted and friendly as you may be, but no one ever wanted to be friends with you, they could twist who you are for an advantage. For example, if you're quiet, they can say, oh, she's really standoffish, which I am. I don't want a lot of friends at work. Simply because I just don't want to take baggage home. I know lots of people mean well. This is just how I am. And it makes my life balanced. If you're an extrovert, oh, she's always in people's business. See how they can twist things and take it the wrong way. And guess what's going to happen when people turn on you? The ones who know you're really not like that, most of them are going to do the "it doesn't pertain to me." Because they want their own paychecks and they're surviving on their own. And while I understand it, it can diminish you. This is the price you pay for the 9 to 5. Don't be cynical. Don't be negative. Just accept that these "it don't pertain to me" syndrome people, actives and passives, exist.